John, what's going on with this story? I gotta. I'm hearing things, and I hear it from you guys. So let me. We'll talk about a couple things going on here with Deadpool. First of all, we talked about Deadpool last week, and back on Tuesday, Ryan Reynolds posted Instagram with the Avengers logo and a anarchy style A symbol painted over it. In the wake of the posting, many on social media took it to mean that he's suggesting Deadpool will appear in the Avengers Doomsday movie at Marvel. The reveal coming as the project is currently a little past the halfway point in shooting. Now, sources for industry trade Hollywood Reporter and their Heat Vision column have confirmed that yes, Deadpool will appear in Avengers Doomsday, but add that don't expect him to be joining the Avengers team, though. Reynolds has previously and rather visibly not been linked with the film, nor has his co-star Hugh Jackman. The report comes as another at the hot mic claims that there have been clashes on the set. The dysfunction I've heard about on set is only to that of the Fast and Furious movies. There's a lot of testosterone and a lot of ego on that set. Comic Book Movie added that we have heard that a clash between two particular actors became so heated that certain scenes involving their respective characters had to be altered or removed from the script entirely. Avengers Doomsday is slated to arrive in cinemas on December 18th, 2026. All right, John, clear this up.
What do you want me to clear up? Be specific.
Let's start with the with that last part of what Comic Book Movie said. Like, who are the actors that are fighting?
Oh, I'm not going to say that.
No,
I do know. Yes, and they are two pretty big actors. And apparently, a comment, from what I understand, a comment was made in jest that was a bit too familiar because these actors didn't know each other that well and crossed the line. And one of the actors got really upset about it, confronted the other actor.
Said it in jest, like publicly, or said it in jest, like behind the scenes
on the set.
Okay, and
that caused a big rift and battle. And I'm just going to leave it at two very outspoken actors went at each other. And from what I understand and what I was told, one of the actors was Marvel said, "We'll shoot your scene separately, or we'll shoot scenes without the other actor in it, or you can." We'll figure it out in some other way. And so that actor felt that the fact that Marvel was willing to make these concessions was enough, because they also told this actor that it was going to cost like millions of dollars to shoot scenes without the other actor. And that actor felt that, well, since Marvel was willing to at least make the effort to concede that and move the schedule around, that they felt it was a good faith effort. And so both actors were brought together, apologies were exchanged, and people moved on. But
they're okay now.
Yes, that's from what I understand. Well, there's been no other incident between those two actors that I have heard. And maybe there has been, but I have not heard anything. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a pretty big blow up, apparently. Yeah.
So I'll be honest, I'm surprised that a story like this didn't happen on the first two Avengers movies. You know what I mean? Like on Avengers in Ultron, Infinity, with all those egos.
I think they were all like, it was a smaller cast, Kristian.
Yeah.
I think they were all focused on, let's all be successful to try to make this happen.
Right.
Because Hemsworth wasn't big enough yet. Chris Evans still wasn't big enough. It was RDJ, right? And Scarlett, who were big names. Jeremy Renner was becoming a big name. Ruffalo, to a degree, in the indie scene. So I think these were all just, but the fact that you keep expanding, we have 37 plus all these other actors that were rumored recently in comicbookmovie.com that are coming back, and now Ryan Reynolds. So, dude, that's a lot of people to manage.
A lot of people, yeah.
And all these people have already mostly established themselves as successful people. So now, were you more quieter at the beginning? Now that you're more established, you're more vocal about the things you like and don't like.
Oh, I agree with you. There's way more people. I'm just saying, I'm still surprised, regardless of you are 100% right on the status of those people back then. But by the time you got to Infinity War, they were still pretty big. And the fact that we didn't get
fair point. Infinity War,
like more clashes and stuff. But I also think it has a lot to say with where Marvel is right now, because they also know at this point with Marvel, it's like this is like there's no this is it. This really is the one that needs to work, and everything kind of hinges off it. And depending on who the actor was that is getting upset, it's like is the stress on that person to carry the movie? Is it someone who's coming in and just like, look, I can come in and do a couple things, I'm just getting a paycheck? As you said before, the investment is the investment not there the way it was. So this is not the best news. However, what could be great news is, like you said, if it's settled and the Russos showing that they can be like these generals and saying, look, guys, let's figure out a way. And same thing with Marvel, saying, let's figure out a way and make it work. And if it was still like feuding, and that
Mhm.
was still a thing, then that's a big issue. But if they can nip it in the bud, look, I take it as small as the Schmodown stuff. There are tons of things behind the scenes of people like
Oh,
going
yeah.
after each other and not getting along with each other, and not me having to look, sit down, have the match, be there. And there was some that you could tell on camera that things were not great, and there's other things that you couldn't even tell at all that there was a big friction thing beforehand,
Oh, yeah.
and it worked out to be great. So
Yeah.
it's just a matter of how it's handled. I am going to tell you guys right now. When I heard Masterclass was coming on to sponsor the show, I was like, "Oh, this is great! I've been using Masterclass forever. Um, it's just the best." So I've been talking about business, the way the business works, and the movie business, and they have the Masterclass by Bob Iger that I use. And man, just listening to that guy and the access that you get because of Masterclass, holy moly. I was able to use some of those tips and things that he was saying, and just like little exercises that he does in his life when he wakes up, things that you try to do, even something simple as just not even being around your phone, hearing people that you're like, oh, look at what they've done, what they've accomplished, and clearly they have some kind of game plan. That's what you get from Masterclass, because there's nothing from gaining a fresh perspective from experts who've seen it all, and they got the wisdom to prove it. So that's what I got when I was listening to that Bob Iger one. It really has changed my whole perspective on all of this. At Masterclass, you can learn from the best to become your best. They got plans starting at like $10 a month. It's billed annually, and you get unlimited access to over 200 classes taught by the world's best business leaders, writers, chefs, and more. With Masterclass, you get thousands of bite-sized lessons across 13 categories that can fit into even the busiest of schedules. Super easy. So I know there's a lot of people who are big comedy fans too. There's one the one with Amy Poehler. So you can like apply improv to your daily life. You can develop your singular voice with Mindy Kaling, and you can learn to tell a story that persuades people with Michael Lewis. There's so many different people. So one with Natalie Portman over there. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. And the classes, they do really make a difference. 3 in 4 surveyed members feel inspired every time they watch Masterclass. Include me in there also. Every new membership comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. There's no risk. Right now, our listeners, you get an additional 15% off any annual membership at masterclass.com/bigthing. That's 15% off at masterclass.com/bigthing. Masterclass.com/bigthing.
Yeah, and I think that's what Marvel realized in that moment, because clearly they wouldn't have done that for a lesser actor, lesser character. So the fact that this was an actor that they have a lot of respect for and care about, and they were willing to move things around in order to appease that actor, I think speaks volumes of the status of that actor, and the way they wanted to handle that situation. But I think, this is something about me that I believe in energy. And I know it's kind of weird for
Mhm.
some people to hear, but I believe in energy. And when there is negative energy around a project, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of stumbles and flops or underperforming movies, and energy is not that strong, then the energy around the set, it's going to permeate into the actors and sync.
Right.
Actors live on creative energies and like
Sure.
feeling shit and being empaths. And so when you sense that energy on a set that's negative, I think that bleeds down to the actors, and the actors just
Yeah.
instinctively act accordingly. Whereas, as you were saying earlier, Infinity War Endgame, that was when Marvel was on the come up, and there was
Right.
nothing but joy and
Right.
excitement and
It was
happiness.
like being in King Midas world. Yeah.
Right, exactly. We're
Right.
all in this together.
Yeah.
Somehow we're gonna be able to push this
Yeah.
entire boat across the sea. Now everyone's complaining because they've already taken the boat across the sea multiple times.
Yeah.
Now people are like, well, what about mine? When do I get
And it's
mine?
also not a championship team at the
Yeah,
moment.
yeah, no, not anymore.
Right.
No,
Right.
those glory days are past right now. Yeah.
Yes. It is. It's like being on the Yankees right now. It's the way- It really is. I can say that. Look, do you hear? Speaking of, I guess we can get into a different segment that
Yeah.
they might rearrange all of baseball.
Yes.
Crazy.
What's Rob Manfred's been talking about it. Yeah.
But Mets and the Yankees in the same division. How would that work?
It's
Oh my
all
god.
nonsense.
Oh my god. Anyway, so that the Deadpool is really a non-story to me. It's like, of course he's going to be in the movie.
Well, I think they need him in the movie, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't have that sarcastic, smart-ass energy that Tony Stark, because he's going to be playing Doctor Doom. I don't
Right.
think he's going to be playing Doctor Doom as Tony
Right.
Stark.
You need
Hope
somebody like that. Yeah. Well, you're still
You
going to
need
Chris
his
Pratt,
energy.
I guess, but not until the next one.
Yeah, but I think you think Ryan, and I think they need to bring out their big guns, Christian, because Fantastic Four is like crawling at the end of a marathon across the finish line to 500 million, if it even gets there. And so I think they need some positive energy to go in there, and Ryan needs it after the whole Justin Baldwin Blake Lively madness.
Right.
So, they kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah. It's a bummer to hear that, already this, but people, it's like, look, guys aren't the only ones reporting this too. Like you said, comic book movie is hearing this too. There's a few other places. It's not just coming from you. I mean, you guys obviously have your side of what you heard about it. And then it's this is when you hear it from so many different, a bunch of different places, it's like, oh, okay, maybe there's some real weight behind this thing too,
Yeah. I mean, the other part of it Jeff revealed on Hot Mic was about Robert Downey Jr. having shot 3 weeks of stuff with a stand-in in his Doctor Doom uniform. That's what Jeff heard. We reported that on the Hot Mic. He stood there for 3 weeks, and they did 3 more weeks of reshoots because of those scenes. Then at the end of those, Robert Downey Jr. didn't like any of the scenes, so he reshot them all with him in the costume. Because what apparently he was doing, according to Jeff, was that this stand-in was doing the scenes from the movie with Robert Downey Jr. reading the lines off camera, not acting on camera, but reading off camera. So the actors were reacting to Robert Downey Jr.
I hope that's not true.
I mean, that's madness. That's hubris. If that's true, that's utter hubris.
I really hope it's not true, because the amount of money that they're paying him through these movies, he should do anything they ask him to. I don't care the status here. Again, that to me is, who knows if that stuff is true or not, right? I'm not saying Jeff didn't hear that, but who knows if it's true. I just hope that that's not true, because that's like, you get paid that kind of money, you do anything they ask you to, anything, and you don't. Okay,
we're looking at it as normies, dude. We're normies. These people like Robert Downey Jr. has had his ass kissed since he was born, and so.
Well, no. I'll tell you, no. No. He we know the journey that he had in general of getting to build himself back up, right? But like, I'm telling you,
he did that to himself. So
yeah, of course he did. But he also had to get himself out of it. And I say this because I was able to spend, when I worked at Silver, I was able to spend some time with him, and like, he was a very grounded dude. And was really, I mean, that was at the point, kiss kiss bang bang, when nobody was looking at him or anything too. So your point is more than valid, that it could be at that point when I knew him, he was still like, hey, I mean, he was talking to everybody. He was treating everybody as equal. I'm not saying he doesn't do that now, but like, he wasn't at the spot. He wasn't getting $7 billion.
People, actors they'll start out a certain direction, and then as they get bigger and bigger, there's that thing where they're pushing the lines of what they can and can't do. And let me tell you something: most actors want to do as little work as possible for as most money as possible. And I think Robert, who's getting up there in age, probably was like, well, there's a lot of stuff that you guys want me to do. Let the stand-in do it, and I'll just read the lines. So it's possible. I'm not saying it did happen, but it is possible.
My wife walked in. She helped me because I left my lunch today at home. Did not like the way the fridge looked when she opened up she just put both food in the fridge, and her face right now looks like she was witnessing murder. What? She just asked me if I got robbed. Pretty brutal.
It's the Julia Roberts face and Aaron Brockovich.
It was. You see that picture I posted?
Yeah, I did. It was
not for me. It's for Sam. Excuse me? It's for Sam. You want that? You want that? You can take that one. You can take that one. I have 2 other bags. It's good conversation to have on the air. Get out of here, will you? Sit by. Nice. She's twerking for me right now. Nice. Did you? I posted that picture. On Instagram. Yeah, it was great. We had a good time. We get to go out with the kids. It was fun. Anyway, good disruption. Appreciate it. What do you guys make of this entire thing? Put your thoughts in there, everybody. Let me know. Do you think there's some merit to this? What do you say? Put your thoughts in there.